Good afternoon, everybody. It's 3:30. It's time for some blues. Unfortunately, I'm not at the ground. It looks to be decent crowd. I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll have to see some more camera angles. But yeah. Rugby Feared, how's it going? Nice food takeaway says go the blues. Novmum doing well. Soul Zero, how's it, man? Not too far away from kickoff, I would imagine. It's a Sunday afternoon, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of crowd it is. Star Leo, man, how is it? Likewise, Blake. Rugby Feared is picking the Blues. Ooh, that's a bad crowd. For a first game of the season, but I'm not there, so I can't say much, but... Bro, I just moved house, I got a reason. Pathetic as it may be. Anyway, we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it's not a wow. If it's one-sided to the Blues, I'll take it, but ideally it's a close game. We've just kicked off. I am at 5 seconds into the game. Blues kicked off. Highlanders are in there on 22. Early start, man. All around. What time is it over there, man? 5 hours difference, so still morning, eh? 10 o'clock, 10:30? Hopefully it'll be a good crowd for next week's game against the Crusaders. Yeah, hopefully. But just at a glance, that crowd's not looking very flash for a first game of the season compared to the sellout they had last year against the Hurricanes. Patrick, man, goodness me, I hate to think what time it is in Pennsylvania. Leo, bloody hell, you're up early, I know that much. 10:30 a.m. for Ailerons, not too bad, man, it's brunch. We're 55 seconds in to this one. The Highlanders have got the ball just before the halfway line. 9:30 p.m. in Jamaica, it's not too bad. You're 50 seconds ahead of me, bloody hell, and I'm in New Zealand. I'm in Auckland, I'm about as close to the game as you can get. But remember, I'm streaming now. I'm streaming the game in rather than watching it on terrestrial TV, so that's probably why. I don't think this will be one-sided at all. For me, two teams were equally matched with perhaps a slight advantage for the Blues. Starleo, let's hope it goes that way, man. Let's hope. So far, the ball has all been with the Landers. 10 p.m. in the Eastern States, so you'll be going to bed at midnight. 4:37 in South Africa. Goodness me, Kevin. I'm going to be getting up probably a similar time to watch bloody Scotland and Ireland later. So, yeah, I feel you. Highlanders have got penalty advantage. Smith starting today. He is. And the Blues have got Ruru, which is like not as good. Just quietly. Blues Landers is usually good. Let's hope so, Leo. Oh, man, that crowd is pretty average. What a day. Sun is out in Southland. Spates are cold. Tasting good. Watching the Landers kick the snot out of the Aucklanders. I don't know about that, Josh. We'll see. Dave was watching MMA. Didn't get out of bed until after 11, Novmum. I wish I could say the same. I was out of bed at 5:30 to get up to watch the Six Nations. Yeah, man, it's Rudu starting. I'd like to know the attendance numbers. Eden Park is massive, so it makes the numbers look worse. Yeah, Eden Park seats around 50-something. So even when they get 20,000 in, it looks empty, which is bad. Ioane's got the first points of the game. It's 3-0. Whiteboard. Kickoff yet? Time sync. We are at. I'll do you 3:45. right now, 3:45. They aren't playing the game in Aussie. It's not on Foxtel. Jarvis, man, they switched to Stan Sports. Apparently they do a month-long free trial if you want to jump on, but it's only what I've heard. No lockdown restrictions, Alarana. We're back at level 1. So, nope. No lockdown. It's not like they're forcing the crowd to be socially distanced. It's just not a great attendance. The first half was worth getting up for at 5:30. You're right, David. The second half, maybe not as much, but still. Blues first chance with a penalty, and they're opting for the sideline. I don't know if it's just me. The Highlanders kit makes them look bigger than they are. It might be. It might be an optical illusion. Maybe they've been just working hard over the break. Good take from Akira. Come on, Blues. That'll be once. And it is. It's gone down. It's advantage. Come on, Blues. Spinner. Cross kick. Oh, no, it's a grubber. He faked it. Oh, but we've knocked it on. They should really use smaller stadiums, although here in Wellington there isn't really an option for a smaller stadium. Agree, Stalio, man. It'd be nice if we had smaller stadiums. It's that issue about not having the one national stadium, eh? You only need, like, I don't know, what, 10,000 seaters in most of the areas? And then you need one, like, big 50, 60, 70,000 seater, whatever you want. But we've got, like, instead we've got a mix match of, like, a 30,000 seater here, a 50,000 seater there. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's the way it is. Had to pause sand so it's not so far ahead. Sorry about that, man. I don't know why Sky is so slow on the streaming. Five-meter line out for the Blues. Akira again. I think they might have pushed before he took that ball to the ground. Okay, it's a penalty. It's a knock-on. So, okay. Take it. Bloody Rico. What's Rico done? Bloody Akira. Mount Smart holds the same. We've got North Shore Stadium. Too many stadiums, man. We don't need it. Oh, is Rico swearing, is he? Oh, well. It's alright. Crowd looks... maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it is just the Eden Park effect. It's definitely less than 20,000 though, I'd say. Rico tries to look cool. Can you do me a favour? Can I grab a glass of water? I forgot to get one. Thank you, lovely wife, who's watching the kids while I watch rugby. Scrum time. Come on, Blues. Big scrum. Oh, the kids are fighting. It's a penalty to the Highlanders. Come on, ref. What is going on here? Anything greater than 15k is a solid attendance, especially considering Super Rugby attendances of old, says Starleo. Hey Curtis, how's it going? Go Blues indeed. Yeah, the Blues used to get 20,000 for New Zealand derbies, and we would be getting around 10 for foreign teams like Australian and South African teams. So, yeah, usually between 10 and 20. The fact that it's all New Zealand teams now, I would have thought maybe higher attendance. But again, I do worry it's the whole idea about it getting a bit old. Don't know. But that crowd on that side doesn't look good. The crowd on the other side that's not facing the camera looks better. But that doesn't do you much good if you're trying to make the stadium look good. Oh, Blues, surely. Rico. Are they going to captain's challenge that? Did he get up and play it again, or did he release it? Oh, Alarana, I managed to get a cab sav. Maybe that's more the thing. Was he held? Pitafeta to Rico. Rico gets tackled, but yeah, he's not held. That's probably fair. Hello from Wales. Bimbag. Oh, what time is it in Wales, man? I hate to think. 4 o'clock in the morning? Must be pretty bad. Is Villa Maria really out of West Auckland? That's more like it, people. Up to watch the Blues game. Good, man. 3 a.m. Holy smokes. Well, I'll be joining you, man. I got to get up at about, I think, 3:40 tonight for the Scotland and Ireland game. So, yeah. Strange how usually I'd assume all the New Zealand teams are much similar skill level when compared to each other, but all the super close games have been in Super Rugby AU. That's right. I'm thinking once we get a few rounds through, maybe a couple more in, I'll have a look at some of the numbers to compare the two comps. Because so far, in terms of drama, Super Rugby AU's had the better games. Now, I'm not saying that means the Aussie teams are better than the Kiwi teams, but the games, the drama have been better. They've only had one, like the game between the Force and the Rebels was a bit of a stinker. Wasn't an easy watch, but other than that, they haven't had any bad games. Morning, Douglas, man. Greetings from Tokyo again. Bojan, what do I do for a living? I work at a local university. But only for now. We'll see. Lots of wineries around West Auckland. Maybe I should go have a look around then. Can't wait to see Scotland get hammered. Ooh, shots fired. Douglas, are you in the bar this time or are you at home? I think it'll be a good game, although I'm pretty sure Scotland will pull through. Yeah, people are a bit torn on that one, apparently. Force variables was a tough one to get through, but the Reds and Brumbies made up for it completely, 100%. Scrum penalty to the Blues. What are they going to do? Villa Maria is in Marlborough. Putting on a kilt to head out to the bar. Nice one. Kenneth, man, how's it going? JP, almost something shut off the Brumbies and Reds when the Brumbies pulled ahead again. Glad you kept it on. Yes. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't live stream that game, but I was so keen to go to bed early that I wanted to get everything ready at half time to basically just go straight to bed. But I should have live streamed that game. It was a cracker. Come on, Blues. They're loving them all. Oh, someone's lost their pants. Or their pants have ridden up. It's not something I thought I would say on a rugby live stream. Yeah, both these sides love them all. That's what their stats indicated prior to the game, and so far it's true for the Blues. They got penalty advantage. Finally get to watch a reasonable game away at a reasonable hour, almost 10 p.m. here in New York. Nice. 10 p.m. is not too bad. Regret missing the Reds game too. Started at 3:40. That's a tough one, Kenneth. For anything but international rugby, I think, yeah, it's probably not really a doable one. Right, Blues looking to turn the screws with another scrum. Year the Blues, year the Blues, year the Blues, year the Blues, says Thomas. Until next week when we play the Crusaders. But yeah, so far so good. Come on, Blues. Scrum's gone down. He's going to reset it. No, he's going to let it play. Whoa, Plummer. Goodness me. Is his name Harry Lamape or Hammy Plummer? What the hell? Another advantage. Surely there's got to be a yellow card warning soon. Try time. Clark. Henry's cheering on the Blues from Seattle. Good man. Nice new big screen at Eden Park. Is there? I didn't even notice. Rudu, Black, Rico, Clark. Good times. That's the boy, Caleb. Hey, Patrick. Yeah. Is the Blues Crusaders in Auckland? Stalia's up here in Auckland. Behind the South Stands. Really? I didn't even notice it. I will have to have a look. Where did they get that kind of money? They're broke as. They must have found a second-hand one on a Trade Me or eBay or something. Do you think you'll live stream the Six Nations game tomorrow? Montague, I plan to. It is at the worst time, but I think it's a game too good to miss. Black continues his work with the boot. It is 14 points to 3. I can certainly handle that scoreline. Did you see the France-England game? I did, man. Very good. Watched it live. 5:45 a.m. Peter Feder's actually looking pretty good at fullback, eh? Haven't seen him tested a lot under the high ball, though. Hope Ireland turn up. Haven't watched one of the lives before. Watched the Six Nations stuff, though. Would definitely enjoy checking that out. I'll look pretty weary because I'm getting up before 4 o'clock in the morning, so... But I guess nobody tunes into this channel to see like an oil painting. So, yeah. Just be aware. I'll look more haggard than usual. Oh, the Blues want scrums. The Blues are loving a scrum right now. Are UK European players allowed to play for New Zealand rugby teams? Yeah, man. It happens every now and again, but... They are limited to the number of foreign players they can have. It's usually, is it like 2 or 3? They've got a quota. They're only allowed a quota of non-New Zealand players, I think. Chiefs led 20-6 until Nadaki became a one-man wrecking ball. Don't remind me. Why are the Chiefs out of the blocks? Yeah, not good. It's just a continuation of last season, isn't it? If the Crusaders are in Auckland, that means the Blues will have a chance to lose by only 15 points. Shots fired, Thomas. What's going on? Why New Zealand rugby community don't take any actions against referees? Yesterday, Crusaders match was full of... Don't know, there wasn't much talk about it. Oh, that crowd doesn't look good from that angle. I want to watch Scotland and Ireland quite a lot, but I have a very busy Monday, so no business waking up at 3:30. Bro, I've got work as well. Still got to get up, watch the game. Tell yourself it's Sunday. Come on, Blues. That'll be advantage over. No, back for the knock on. Because the Highlanders turned it over. You're back in Wales to win the competition at this point? Yeah, for sure. They're in front. Are you able to have any donations on your YouTube stream? My PayPal messed up because I set up in the UK, but I'm based in the US now. Wanted to buy a few videos, couldn't donate to the page. I know there's the Super Chats thing. I've done that before for other people when they're live streaming, and it just goes through my credit card. But no pressure, man. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But have a crack. Hopefully Kazuki Himeno playing for the Highlanders next game. Please, man, please. Let's get him in. I know he needs a bit of time to settle in, but yeah. Okay, Rico's having a pretty good game, I've got to say. Didn't do a beer run. Curtis, I did a wine run. Aileron wants me drinking wine this time. Next time, beer. It's going to happen. My to-do list is still very long. I managed to get a towel rack and put that up because I got no place to hang my bloody towels. Are people in Auckland still a bit COVID worried? Oh, I don't know, man. I'm surprised the crowd is not better. Like, I plan to go because we just moved house. Like I said, after doing a morning full of videos, Six Nations and Super Rugby AU, I had a bunch of errands to run, so I couldn't make it out for an early game. If it had been 7 o'clock, I might have been able to make it, but... Oh, Satutu, rampaging run. Go Dalton. Hammer down. Oh, he's just short. And he's in touch. Bloody hell. Montague, man. Cheers, bro. Beer fun. Beers next time. Yes, beers next time. Thank you, my man. Very, very kind of you. Much appreciated. Hope you are well. Coconut man, how's it going? What happened to Milner Scudders? He's down with the Landers, but he can't seem to buy a game. Whoa. The Highlanders are living dangerously. Nails or screws? For the towel rack thingy? Screws, bud. I ended up putting in a toilet roll holder. That one's like suction because the bottom half of the bathroom is like tiled, so I don't want to drill holes in it. And then the towel rack is just screws. And then there's like a mini hand towel rack that's also screwed in, so yeah. How far behind is my stream? I am at 25:20 right about now. Between you and Squidge, I was informed for my fantasy. Ended up first and Wales 9th globally. Bro, that's amazing. I love fantasy, but I haven't played it for ages because I get a bit too focused on it. Caleb Clark did well to pick that ball up around his ankles. Man, the Highlanders are under the pump. They'll have a chance, but they need to stop the Blues scoring here. Blues need to take this chance because they, like Alaran said, the Chiefs had a big lead against them too. Oh, Rico's dropped it cold. What time is it at the game? The game is at 26 minutes right now, and local time here in New Zealand is 4:02. Blues are going to opt for the 3 this time. Super Rugby ladder currently, Crusaders, I think it was Highlanders, Blues. Hurricanes, Chiefs? Chiefs, Hurricanes? Hurricanes, Chiefs, I think. Fantasy is great fun with the boys. I got some dodgy picks this round though, yeah. Yeah. I used to play a lot of fantasy years ago, mostly Super Rugby and Rugby Championship, and me and my mates got pretty competitive. Been such a fun obsession during COVID. I think I had north of 500 transfers. Bloody hell. That's going obsessive compulsive as well. That's the way I tend to get with it. $17 points for the Blues, people. I'll tell you, the Blacks just kicked that penalty. So far, so good. Smash the like button, folks, says Kenneth. You got to help Mark fix up the new house. This is true. I've managed to sort out the towel rail. I've managed to sort out the hand towel rail. I've managed to sort out the toilet roll holder. These are like high priority items. No couch yet. That's lower priority. You can live without that, but a towel you need every day. I've got a chair. It's actually my works chair, but it's a chair. Is there any team I could count on to not lose hope when behind quite a bit as the Highlanders? There's a logic to that, Starleo. I agree. Have you picked an MLR team to support? Curtis, based on the jersey, possibly the New England Free Jacks. But I'm also a little partial to Rooney as well. Big love from Wales. Cheers, Dan, man. Be a happy man after the victory over Italy. Didn't seem to be any major injuries. What's my real name? It's Mark. Mark. Picking San Diego Legion. That's true. And they had Martin Onu last time I was watching them, and he was playing pretty well. This is true. Did I get a Legion cap? I don't think I did. No. Fan of the Seawolves. That's true. Thinking a Californian team. The Giltinis. The Free Jacks have a cool logo. They do have a cool logo. Running like clockwork. Wales, man. For sure. I support the New England Boston and every support, so you're a Free Jacks, man. Good man. Bloody Rico. Hit and miss so far, man. Hit and miss. Come on, Blues. Caleb Clark. This commentator hasn't learned how to say Lynch's name. They did a player name pronunciation segment a year or two ago, and everyone calls Lynch's Lynchies, and he's like, there's no cheese in my name. Lynch's. I'm pretty sure it's Lynch's, but he definitely said no cheese, and the commentator has just called him Lynchies, which I would imagine is pretty frustrating. Maybe he's used to it. Giltinis is the worst team name of any sport ever. What about the Gilgronis? Gilgronis or Giltinis? Most New Zealand so much. Did a Kiwi experience there when I was 18. Oh, nice. Yeah, New Zealand's a nice place, man. Not perfect. Nowhere's perfect, but yeah, nice place. Good old Len cheese. Exactly, Jimmy. Len cheese. Got all those Aussies in LA, but I've actually got family in San Diego. So go the Legion, man. Go the Legion. They're a good team. Gilgronis is a pretty bad name. Yeah. Named after a cocktail. Not ideal. They used to be the herd, though, like a herd of cattle. And the logo was like a bull's head. Rugby Atlanta is pretty good. ATL? Yeah, for sure. I hate the Giltini's name and logo. Same with that Austin team. For me, they don't sound like real rugby teams. They need a proper name. Any suggestions? Some locals would have a good idea. I hate to think what the territory stats are like, but it's going to be ugly reading for the Highlanders. But they've just got a penalty, so they'll get some territory in this tick. Haven't had a look at North American rugby. Anything to be excited about? Been back. The MLR teams are weird, and that there'll be a bunch of guys you've never heard of next to like a World Cup winner. Or, you know, some, admittedly, at the tail end of his career, usually, legend, or potentially, like there'll be a few guys who kind of were on the fringe of certain competitions but couldn't quite make it. There's a few guys who've taken MLR contracts. So, yeah, it's a weird competition. But I was just saying the other day, I saw the Beast and Tawera get absolutely hammered at a scrum by a guy I'd never heard of. I saw Matanonu get stepped by a guy I'd never heard of watching the MLR, so it's a fun competition. Favourite Super Rugby AU team traditionally has been the Waratahs, much to JP's dismay. Go, Kira! To his brother, go Rico! Hammer down. They're going to check that pass. It definitely goes a bit forward, but I think it's backwards out the hands. He's running at pace. The ball's going to go forward. Rico with the try. Bloody Tars, I know. Nareki gets turned over by Papali'i. Blues shift it to the right wing. Plummer shifts it wide, cut out past to Akira. Akira beats his first man. Is that Josh Iwane? God, he's quick. He used to play sevens, Akira, and it shows, right? Man, Narek is down. It's not good. Oh, is he going to check that pass? Honestly, like, it goes forward, but check the back of the hands. Check the hands. He's running at full tilt. So the pass definitely goes forward, but that's the physics of the ball. His hands don't go forward, right? Come on, am I blues man? I know the ball goes forward, but you've all seen that video, right? Where two guys are just running on an empty field at full tilt, passing, and the ball always goes forward. Am I wrong? Anyway. Hands. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased. If it's a Highlanders try, I'm probably screaming blue murder. No way that's going forwards from his hands. Come on. They're saying it's a forward pass. I'm pretty gutted with that one. Trajectory went back, floated forward. I know, that's... Like, referees have to know that, right? Like, it definitely travels forward, but that's not what the law is. Look, it's going... Oh, for goodness sake, I don't know. Forward pass is where you throw the ball in a forward's trajectory. It looks worse because Rico's reaching out for it. Come on, guys. Akira's like 10 meters in front of Rico. How's it forward? Bailey. Like, I thought it was just me being like full of blues bias, but come on, man. Anyway. As a non-bias, it looks flat if not back. Yeah, refs are getting out of hand these days. I feel like they're worried more about the layman's going, oh, it's gone forward, because yes, it does go forward, but that's not what the law is about. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on about it. Why do people dislike Rico so much? Because he's a show-off. New Zealanders don't like show-offs. You're supposed to be humble, like Richie McCaw. You're not supposed to be I don't know, show-off. What's another word for show-off? Can't believe they call it forward. Timothy, I'm with you, man. Show pony, that's a good way of putting it, no, Mum? Yeah, we don't like show ponies. On the bright side, your halfback isn't yellow carded after TMO completely F's up on a full pass. There you go, look on the bright side. Penalty for the Blues. 4 minutes left, first half. He's not all that, says nice for takeaways, but he thinks he's all that. That's what people don't like. I mean, it's fair showing off is for American football and football. Rugby really is played by gentlemen. I don't know if it's different in other countries, but yeah, traditionally in New Zealand anyway, we don't like people who blow their own horn. The standard lines are credit to the opposition. Like even if you beat them by 100 points, like credit to the opposition. They came out hard. You know, we got lucky with a few passes or something like that. Are there any Japanese teams in Super Rugby this year? Nah. The before it was scrapped, the old Super Rugby had the Sunwolves, but they were told they would have to pay like a certain fee to keep going in the competition. Where previously their entry was without fee, it was kind of subsidized or whatever. And JRFU went middle finger to that, and yeah, the Japanese are focusing on the top league. I don't think they want to bar Super Rugby. Oh, the Blues have lost it a metre out from the line. I worry the Blues are not converting these chances into points, people. Full credit to the opposition. There you go, nice food takeaways. That's it. Michaeli Tu'u is missed. Yeah, they'll bring him on soon, I reckon. He needs to be playing. Can't stand how so many American footballers act so arrogant. It just seems to be a cultural thing, eh? It's expected. Ice hockey players are more like rugby players, I find. Ice hockey players seem to not want to have the spotlight at all, and they always kind of shy away from that stuff. Except like PK Subban, who likes to, like, he's a bit of a show pony. But I find him kind of charming. I don't know why. A lot of people don't like him because he's not the traditional ice hockey interviewee kind of thing. What chance does Rico got for being 13 for the ABs? I think maybe more chance for a utility spot on the bench because he can cover midfield or wing, but yeah, it's possible. Oh, the Highlanders are hanging on for grim. Dear life? Grim death? I would put him at 13 with a bias. My brother was playing Fantasy Super Rugby Aotearoa and yelled, and the Chiefs win. We're thinking about Chiefs winning a game this year. They should win a game at some point. Reefs are poor this weekend, but seriously getting annoyed how when a team lose, people moan about the ref. Oh yes, man, definitely. I listed that as one of my gripes when I said there's things I dislike about rugby. The moaning about the ref grinds my gears to no end. Still hope Japan join the Rugby Championship. Yeah, that could be a good addition. It's more entertainment based than US sports, I guess that's true. Oh, penalty to the Blues. We got 30 seconds left. Maybe rugby could do with a little bit more of the American style stuff, to be honest, to grow the game and get more advertisers and whatnot in, but it's hard when the traditions of the sport are not based like that, eh? Lautaro says, here in Argentina, rugby historically linked to clubs with high class members, so there are certain class behaviours, unfortunately. Yeah, that's not unique to Argentina, I think, man. There's a lot of rugby snobs in various places, that's true. Jess says the Blues are better than the Highlanders, but they need to score. Oh, Dixon's been sin-binned. I'd like Japan in the Rugby Championship and 3 teams be within a couple of hours of each other. Yeah, Japan's time zone is definitely doable, and they like playing their games in the afternoon as well, which works for us here in New Zealand. They don't play their games real late at night. Rugby refs are pretty damn good compared to most world sport. Aussie rules umpires, on the other hand. Why? What's the deal with Aussie rules? All I know is they go, or if it's a behind. Goal? Behind? Is it called a goal? NBA refs are atrocious. Everybody doesn't like the refs, eh? That's a tough job, man. Who would be a ref? Rugby Fed, you got your internet back. Good, man. There's about 25 seconds left to go in this game. The Highlanders have got a yellow card, but they've also got the ball, so they're not suffering for it at the minute. Nardic, he's gone off injured, so Mitch Hunt's on the field. 5 seconds left in the first half. Highlanders are not going to kick it out. They're going to keep playing at it. Highlanders win a penalty. Poor Italy again today. Same thing over again. Progress is slow. I was really disappointed in that game, but Wales were good, so what can you say? Refs are just an easy excuse when your team loses, Stalio, no matter the sport, unfortunately. Yes, I agree. There's always hundreds of factors that go into a team winning or losing a game. The ref is only one, generally. Rugby rules are too interpretive in AFL and constantly change. And yep, AFL has goals and behinds. Goals are worth 6, behinds are worth 1. And also you're thinking of goal umpires, haha, field umpires are crap. Oh yeah, there's field umpires and goal umpires. I just love the way that the finger gesture, or is it hand? It's like so deliberate. It's a little show of its own, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they sit there practicing that at night, they're like, hell yeah, when these guys get a goal, I'm gonna get these suckers going. Don't know, just what it feels like. I've watched a couple of AFL games when I was in Australia. My family in Melbourne are like real big on it, so but I don't understand what the hell's going on. Alright, it's gonna be half time. Rico, Laumape, or ALB Eno would be All Black centre duo for future games. Laumape and Rico is just like going, we're attacking. I like that. That would be pretty intimidating. But like ALB Eno is kind of more all round, isn't it? Should the Rico try have been disallowed? I didn't think so, Jack. I thought it was travelling forward with momentum rather than past forward. But anyway. It's like in cricket when someone scores a 4 or a 6, some umpires perform a show. Billy Bowden was the one who always used to do the finger gestures. Some umpires just kind of go through the motions. One thing I like about the NFL is the game tape is used all over YouTube for breakdowns and analysis, something you'd like to see happen for rugby. True. The Six Nations seem to be pretty liberal with their footage, but Sanzar is like, yeah, not so much. 2 fingers, I think used to be standing behind the goals. They're just about... what? Just as they're about to signal and yelling. Okay. I'm not going to read that full thing out. Been in Melbourne for 3 years now. Still don't understand AFL. Okay, good. It's not just me. When was the last time we watched a whole Union game without a card? Didn't the Reds Brumbies game not have any cards yesterday? Am I going to stream Mitre 10 Cup games? Maybe. I guess we'll see how my schedule's looking, man. Mitre 10 Cup interest tends to be relatively low, believe it or not. I did the Mitre 10 Cup games one year, and the, yeah, let's just say, like, it's a fair bit of work, and the views on the videos did not justify any effort that I was putting in. I think Tuivasa-Sheck at 13 for the World Cup. You reckon centre's his best position? A lot of people have said that. He's going to have to learn, like, the positioning play for centre is probably the toughest one to crack onto, eh? Live stream some AFL so we can watch the confusion. That actually might be funny. I have no idea who even broadcasts the AFL over here. I would have no idea how to get it. I know it used to be on free to air, on a channel like buried at the back of like the channel nobody watches. Just filling time. Right, half time. Run meters 247 to 93 in favor of the Blues. Possession 52-48. Territory 68-32. Penalties conceded 5-8. The Highlanders having more. From Christchurch, have been stuck in Melbourne for almost 13 years, and I'm moving back to Christchurch in a few years. Good man. What's bringing you back? What's stuck in Melbourne? Isn't Melbourne pretty nice? The only thing that used to annoy me when I visited Melbourne is the trams kept bloody telling me how good the coffee is. I swear, every time I get on a tram, like they play advertising, they play some, like sometimes it's like interesting, like this building is the blah 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 building or whatever. Like every stop, they'll be like, have you tried our coffee? Melbourne people, is it Melburnians? We love our coffee. We've got really good coffee. Coffee, have you tried the coffee? I'm like, for goodness sake, leave me alone. Your coffee's okay, it's alright. It's not the best coffee I've ever had. Anyway. You missed what you had in Christchurch, fair enough. No way the Landers had 48 possession. Oh, maybe. They were kicking it away a lot. No way to Vasashek would fit as a fullback. He's no kicking game. Yeah, they might be right. I guess a league career is not exactly conducive to a good kicking game. I love Melbourne, but the obsession with coffee down there is absurd. Thank goodness it's not just me, JP, man. Honestly, like I feel like I was trying to be brainwashed. I don't know. It just seemed like a heck of a lot of coffee ads on a tram. I don't know. Do you think Rugby Championship could become a 6 or 7 nations with Japan and Fiji, or even Samoa, and it could have relegation system position in the Southern Hemisphere? The one thing I would like about the Rugby Championship having more teams is that there would be room to have it as you only play one time. Like Six Nations, England only play France once. So when that game happens, it's a freaking event, right? Whereas because we play each other twice in the Rugby Championship, it kind of loses a bit of that uniqueness, you know what I mean? And so few teams beat the All Blacks in New Zealand. The All Blacks have won it like a horrendous amount of times compared to everybody else. Yeah. Like obviously the Springboks have done a good job in recent years, but prior to that, not that much. That's Melbourne for you. Yeah, fair enough. Do I get into the America's Cup? Not really. I've never really been like I'm from Auckland, but I've never been a sailor. I've never been on boats much. Don't know. Like, I know in some places rugby is like a rich guy's sport. I feel like America's Cup is the ultimate rich guy's sport. But then again, it's like the boats are pretty cool. They're pretty fast. If you get 100 likes, can I get a shout out to my channel? From Rugby Feared. How many likes are we at? I can't even see on here. I can only see the Facebook likes. And yeah, I did see Mo'unga's stats from his game against the Chiefs. He was like phenomenal. Something like 9 defenders beaten. AB's beat everyone except for a bunch of guys who were training. I think the thing is, like, sometimes, like, occasionally, New Zealand drops a game in Australia, drops a game in South Africa, right? But it's pretty rare that they drop both. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think if it's only if the All Blacks have got to go away to Australia, and they drop that game, I think that makes the whole competition more open wide. Fiji seem like a fun prospect. If you can get all the European-based Fijian guys in the competition, they'll be a force to be reckoned with for sure. Even though Argentina can often get a win championship, they often lose the second game against the same team, so they end up at the bottom. Exactly right. Exactly right. Like, if it's more teams, there would be a year where Argentina maybe, like, let's say, has Japan and Fiji away. They've got the All Blacks and South Africa at home. That could be a hell of a schedule for them, you know what I mean? But, I don't know. Has League always been more popular in Australia than Union? I'm not the guy to comment, but I would assume yes. League's way bigger than rugby. Like, how many league teams are there? A lot more than the Union teams. I would have expected kind of a halftime analysis show, but I'm just watching ads over here. I don't know about you guys. Unfortunately, League is more popular than Rugby Union, has been for decades. Rugby peaked here in the early 2000s. Yeah, those games, like the Game of the Century game, those used to get phenomenal crowds. I think Rugby Union was pretty popular back then, but they didn't, like Rugby Australia, shift the funding model like away from grassroots and all into the Wallabies or something. Rugby Championship should have 6 teams, including Japan and Fiji, and have a B tournament with teams like Tonga, Samoa, Uruguay, Namibia, maybe Brazil. The travel, though, between Tonga, Samoa, and then South America is huge, and then Namibia as well. It's huge. The travel costs are horrendous. Union is bigger in Jamaica, that's what we like to hear. 3:30 in the morning here in Ireland. Ben, how's it going? Ben, it's going good. My team is in the lead, not by as much as they should have been. I will be joining you 3:30 my time, tomorrow my time, to watch Ireland play Scotland. Watching highlights of the Brumbies Reds on Stan since it doesn't have any ads. Oh, fair enough. I'm getting bombarded with ads on Sky. It's been Ford. Now this looks like Chrysler. A 4.5 ton something. It says, it's a Dodge. Sorry, it's a Dodge. And now Bunnings Warehouse. There we go. Union is struggling in Australia. Darnell, man, how's it going? Yeah, I hope the AU competition gets some traction in Australia, but doesn't seem to be massive. Go Blues from a Crusaders supporter. Good man. AAU put their money into the wrong things to get big league players to convert and neglected development. Now they are way behind most sports here. JP, yeah, that's kind of what I've heard, eh? The AAU was pretty poorly managed for quite some time, eh? I'm way behind. Yeah, because I'm streaming it on Sky Sports now instead of watching it on TV. I'm just watching Halangahu giving his halftime interview. I'm not listening to it though. The Brumbies Reds game was a good game to have on free to air. Blake, thank God they didn't go for the other game. Like if there was a game that needed to be on free to air, it was that game. Yeah. Right, we're almost about to kick off second half. Whoa, West Side, bro, how's it going? Long time no see, man. Can the Brumbies and Reds beat the other New Zealand teams? Maybe, man. Probably not the Crusaders, but I'm not sure anyone can beat the Crusaders right now. I don't understand why they have ads on Sky. Isn't that why I pay you so I don't get the ads? I would have thought so, Novmum. But yeah, I just watched ads for the entire pretty much 15-minute break. It was just ads. Is Rugby 7s more popular than Union, like 15s in any other country? I would say like Kenya. Sevens is more popular. They got a pretty good sevens team. Make the Blues great again. We'll build a defensive wall and make the Highlanders pay for it. Yeah, that's the hat. If you guys aren't sure about what he's talking about. Crusaders on top and then daylight. Absolutely. Right, we're in the second half. Remember, the Highlanders are still down a man for like the next 6 odd minutes. Still not finding any beer. Alaran told me to get some wine, so I bought some Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab Sav. So yeah, I'll get beer next time, man. I was gonna get beer today. Today? What was it yesterday? God, I'm losing track of time. I said to my missus, let me stop in here, grab some beer. No. What? What time is it in New Zealand? It's 4:36 p.m. So 4:36 in the afternoon. People are saying there's a try. What? No way. Blues are all on it. They're outside the Highlanders 22. If there's really a try, then I'm miles behind. What a maul. Oh, Ben, bro. Ben O'Brien, thank you kindly for the super sticker, man. Cheers to you, sir. Much appreciated. Appreciate that, man. Hope you're looking forward to the game between Ireland and Scotland. For me, I will say it's tomorrow morning. Man, there is a try. It's another one. I must be miles behind. Like a minute behind. Yeah, I guess because I'm streaming, eh? Is Narawa on for Talea or what? Will Wales win the Grand Slam? I would like to see them get the Grand Slam just because I put a YouTube poll up. It only lets you choose 5 teams, but I said who's going to win the Six Nations before the competition started. Wales were the last team. No, 4% of people said Wales. Everyone was wanting Pivac's head. So it'd be nice to see him get a Grand Slam. Should be over now, hopefully. He's missed the conversion. People voted for Italy. That's the thing, JP. YouTube only lets you do 5 choices on a poll. So I dropped Italy. I didn't even put Italy on. So yeah, it was only England, France, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. So yeah, no, people didn't vote for Italy. Although people did put in comments like, I want Italy. Give me Italy. Man, I think Ruru won that turnover. Go Narawa. Blues looking sharp. But no, they've considered a penalty. My friend asked, what's Super Rugby? I told him it's a competition where 4 teams compete to finish behind the Crusaders. That's fair. I think that's the actual definition, isn't it? Ireland versus Scotland prediction. Hey, Darmundi, how's it going? Ireland versus Scotland prediction. I've tipped Ireland. I know the sexy pick is Scotland right now at home, but I've tipped Ireland based on the recent history and based on Ireland having more recent games than Scotland. Now, you can call me nuts, but I also tipped England to beat France, so sometimes you get them right, sometimes you get them wrong. Watching from Buenos Aires, Federico, how are you, man? Putting my internet through its paces, got rugby, me, and the America's Cup on. Get your value for money, man. Do it. Who's winning the America's Cup? Out of curiosity. It feels like a bit of a bad one because New Zealand spent all this money on the America's Cup area, and then now there's nobody who can come to to use it. See you, man, Coconut. Take it easy. JP's pulling for the Scots. They're like everyone's favourite team at the moment because they're playing pretty bloody attractive rugby. If Scott Robertson leaves, do you think the Crusaders... Oh, I think the Crusaders become more vulnerable if he leaves. What can I say? He's such a irresistible force. James Duffy, man, bro. Thank you kindly. Thank you for the great videos on rugby. Always enjoyable. Appreciate it, man. Very kind. Cheers to you, sir. Thank you for coming along. I know you've been in a few of the streams recently. Always good to have you along. Maybe if I need video editing tips, I should be asking you. Can't wait for Off the Ball's reaction to Wales win the Grand Slam. There's a bit of bad blood between Ireland and Wales, hey? Is the red wine nicer than the white? It's certainly stronger in its taste. Like the red wine was quite, not the red, the white was quite sweet, eh? Alaran, the wine expert, did not approve. My country is the only country who haven't started back rugby because of the COVID pandemic. That's a bugger. Our club season was cut short here because of COVID. If the Satyrs win again this year, a lot of regulars are going to move to Japan or Europe. The thing about the Crusaders is they always bring through more guys. Like you think, oh, this guy's leaving. Kieran Reid's leaving. Maybe they'll be a word. No, they're going to be just as good. They've got another guy who would already be a starting 15 guy for another team who's just been waiting for his chance. Young guys want to sign for the Crusaders because they're so successful. Don't care much for selling, but they fast and they look cool. My missus is cooking, by the way, if you can hear that. I know you don't watch much league, but who do you go for in the state of origin? I don't really go for either. I got more relatives in Queensland, but I've got a mate from New South Wales, but yeah, kind of not fast, eh? Should only drink wine for the European comps or bloody TARS games. Beer next time, JP. Beer next time. Lock it in. What's cooking? Hey, Jude. What are you cooking? What are you cooking? Like, is it the broccoli? Are you cooking pork? Oh, beef. Beef, broccoli, yeah, some good stuff. Food smells good, Grant. How's it going, Grant, in the desert? You're jealous. Well, it is like 4:45, so it's not too far from being dinner time over this way, guys. Just woke up getting ready for work. Work? Isn't it Saturday? Sounds of cooking at almost 1 a.m. in Argentina. I know, it's weird. The time difference is mad. Argentina didn't start yet. Juarez 15. Fernandez Lopez going to compete in the SLAR in a few days. That's good. I'll have to see if that's available anywhere. Am I going to live stream Scotland versus Ireland? That's the plan. At like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's the plan. Nearly 4 in the morning here, mate. I'm making me hungry. Hey, Jude, you're making everybody hungry.
Oh.
All different times around the world. 1 a.m., 4 a.m., everybody smells and hears the cooking and is feeling hungry. Oh, Sunday morning, of course. God, what am I thinking? Start of the work week in the desert. You start work on a Sunday, man, that's brutal. If Wales beat France, what effect does that have on the world rankings? I think Wales might be going up again. I'm not actually sure. I'll have to double check. Danjo, if I do miss the stream, forgive me because I'll set an alarm, but you never know. Save me a play, 3:46 here in the morning. When can you get here, man? You better be quick. We need the cooking channel with Mrs. 2 Cents. Yeah, we do need the cooking channel. We also need the Blues to get another bloody try. Come on, guys. 5 meters out. More time. It's inching its way forward. It's really going forward. This is going to be try time for sure. Absolutely. Eklund with the try. David starving at 3:45. I'm sorry to be doing this to you, David. I hope you're enjoying the rugby, if nothing else. Man, next week's game against the Crusaders is going to be huge, huh? Ireland to New Zealand like a 20-hour flight. Yeah, you might be a bit late, man. Save your plate might be a bit tricky. Eklund, like no emotion on his face after scoring that try. He looks confused as to what he's doing there lying on the ground. I'll leave it in the fridge. Okay, James, yeah. If I can keep my mitts off it, yeah. What's this score going to be? Blues are looking the business. That's right. Can't be wasting opportunities against the Crusaders next week. Indeed, you got to take them all. What's a kick? 29. Some would say it could be the Blues. Yeah, Jordan, you're right. Some would say that. Blues fans would say that. When does Bodie return to the Blues? After the Super Rugby season. So, yeah, after the top league's done. So, not for a while. If I get there before the Scotland game tomorrow, I'll take the plate from the fridge. Good man. The Scotland game is only like 12 hours away, I think. Less. Slightly less, so you may not make it. How good was last night's game for the Reds? As someone who was there under the post when the Reds scored the last few, could the Reds win Super Rugby AU? They could, man. That was such a bloody good game. I hope a lot of people watched it, or people will go and watch the highlights, because that game was just amazing. best watch I've had in a wee while. And the England-France game was pretty good, but over the course of the 80, the Reds game was better. I know it's not internationals, but still. Love to watch international rugby, but I don't know much about club rugby. Dan, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people don't really watch any club rugby. But it's good if you can get a team, pick a team in each competition, follow that team, start with that team. Like, I do that with the ice hockey, man. I only really follow one team. I don't have time to follow the whole NHL. There's too many bloody teams, like 32 teams or 31 teams or something. It's madness, but start with a team, follow how they go. You don't have to watch all their games, watch the highlights. It's a good way to kind of build your way into it, I reckon. Alright, here comes a Highlanders maul. This should be a try because that's going forward at a rate of knots. Try time. Reds Brumbies game of the year for me so far. You haven't watched domestic rugby in Europe, but nah, man, Star Leo. That game is on par with any great games. Like Munster versus Clermont was also a really good one if you're looking for a European game this year. But nah, just as good. Ben, another super sticker for the smell of the cooking. Alright, I'll drink to that. We went to the supermarket today, so I've got to do some cooking later in the week, but not when the rugby's on. Not when the rugby's on. Cheers, Ben, man. Hopefully it tastes as good as it sounds. Thank God the Landers scored. The game needed that. I didn't need that. But the game probably needed that. As a non-neutral, I'm kind of disappointed, but I know what it's like when one team is just too dominant. Just want to know, in New Zealand, is it football or soccer? Dan, I would say for the most part it's soccer. But New Zealand soccer rebranded to New Zealand football about 15 or 10 years ago. Well, the Highlanders have brought on some guys from the bench who look dangerous, so you never know. Most of the youth are calling it football. Yeah, makes sense. Globally, it's football. The definition of being a hardcore supporter is the game needed that, but I didn't. That's where I'm at right now. The Blues are still in bonus point territory, but they've lost that buffer. And they've just won a penalty, so that's better. Come on, Blues. Redford Stalker, how is it, man? I'll drink a beer with you during the Irish game tomorrow when it's daytime here. You drink the beer, I'll drink the coffee, man. You drink the beer, I'll drink the coffee. Sam Knock has come on for the Blues. We're at 56 minutes. 29-10. Aotearoa Black has just kicked for touch. It'll be on just about the Highlanders 22-metre line by the look of things. I love reading the comments and finding out the times of the world where people are and where different people are from. I know, man, it's mad, isn't it? It's like a proper around the world thing. It's great. Any plans for New Zealand and Australia, South Africa, Argentina to have their own Lions tour? Not that I know of, but it would be awesome. It's just finding a spot in the bloody calendar that's that tough, eh? Blues win an uncontested line out. The Highlanders sack that sucker straight away, so no more. Blues are just on the 22-metre line of the Highlanders. Let's get another try. Take that bonus point buffer out. Because remember, this one's not the full try bonus point. It's you need 3 tries more than your opposition to get a bonus point. Have Irish coffee. I'd need to buy some whiskey. What's wrong? There's about 25-30 minutes. What the heck is going on here? 4 a.m. in Ireland. It's almost 5 a.m. here. Ben's off to sleep before it gets to 4 a.m. Yes, man, I will get the coffee ready, and fingers crossed if my alarm goes off and I wake up, I'll be up for Scotland, Ireland at a horrendous time over here, looking like absolute death. But if the game is good, it will keep me awake. I'll see you then, bro. How's Aaron going? He's going okay, but he's behind a beaten pack at the moment, man. Makes more sense to have an Anzac touring team because there's an actual connection. That might make sense. Do these guys know beer makes you burp and you're talking the whole time? I guess. Have I had that? Have I had audible burps on the streams before? I don't know. I usually drink beer. I'm very seldom a wine drinker. But our man Alaran likes to get me on the wines. So 4 a.m. in Manchester. Goodness me, almost breakfast time. Guinness could be a morning drink, James. Yeah, you're right. That's almost like a breakfast though, isn't it? Mrs. didn't want to go to Eden Park today. Ah, man, we had too much stuff on. Since we moved house, we've got a million things to do, and we've only done about half of them. Blues keep the scoreboard ticking over with a nice wee penalty there to make it 30-10. I mean, there's still time, but I would say the game is relatively safe for the Blues. This could be famous for last words. But relatively safe for the Blues. It's more their bonus point that would have a threat than anything else. And yes, Ben, see you then. Opinion for who's winning the Lions game, the Ireland game. Jack, I have locked in Ireland for the win. But yeah, we'll see. I hope it's a good game. I don't mind who wins. It could equally be Scotland, but for my prediction, I've gone with Ireland, for what it's worth. The Blues are travelling fourth at an absolute rate of knots. Quick ball. Recycle. Caleb Clark playing scrum half. He's not going to pass it. He's a big unit. Sam Knock. Questionable haircut. And it's a penalty to the Blues. 5 metres out from the line. Thoughts on the big green NIB on the jersey? It's horrible, man. I love that these guys give the Blues money. I hate that they won't adjust their colour scheme to match the jersey. It sucks. It sucks big time. No America's Cup today, no win. Okay. That's one good thing about rugby. It pretty rarely gets cancelled due to the weather. Like, it can happen, but it's pretty rare. What are the popular beers in New Zealand? Steinlager is probably one of the most well-known ones. Everyday beers would be Spates, Tui, Export Gold. None of them are that good. Waikato Draft, Lion Red. Yeah, there's a lot of pretty average beers. There's probably some good craft beers, but I'm not a beer connoisseur either. I just kind of drink the damn stuff. New Zealand lager, that's another one. Stay away from Export Gold for the life of you. I know. What happens here? Was that a push for Satutu to go into Robinson? Makes you feel better. NIB killed the Newcastle Knights jersey and the NRL jersey as well. You can see the game in the whiteboard. Oh no. This way, this way, this way, this way. Sure, that's just my ranch slider. Max Gold. Yeah, that's not too bad. Monteith's. Yeah, actually, that's a decent one. No, mate. No, I don't watch much NRL. Virtually nothing. I'm too busy with Union. When I was in New Zealand in 2019, the craft beers in New Zealand are great. Yeah, there's a sugar load of craft beer. Absolutely everywhere there's craft beer. We are very big on craft beer. I think everywhere's big on craft beer now, right? Yeah. Have you tried the Japanese beer Orion? No. I've had Sapporo, Asahi, not just the ones brewed for export, like the proper legit made in Japan ones. Have I had any other Japanese beer? Not that I'm sure of. I'm normally asleep for your live streams, but we're up with you for the Ireland game. Good man, Dan. Hopefully I'm awake. Hopefully I can stay awake. I didn't even know where he was there. Would have done penalty. Yeah, that seems a bit bizarre to me, but we'll go with it. I'll be pretty pissed off if the Highlanders take away our bonus point, but Blues win a penalty. Good stuff. Orion is much better. I'll have to have a look for it. Do they sell it here? Hagen? Isn't Hagen... I've had Hagen. Isn't that like a relatively cheap faux, like imported beer? Want to visit Auckland next time you come to New Zealand? Come man, we'll have a beer once COVID's over, for sure. Rockphonic, hey, how is it, man? We are 62 minutes into this one. The Blues are still up by 22 points, so they're looking pretty comfortable. But it's not game over yet. I'm glad the Scotland game is daytime for you. Yeah, you're lucky. Does it not gross you out that some countries stand on the grapes to make the wine? No, I never really think about it. Don't they then like ferment it? No idea. It's like, isn't honey made from like bees essentially transferring the substance from one bee to another by vomiting it to each other? Or is that an urban legend? Don't think too much about stuff. Just enjoy it. Whoa, Narawa. To knock. Plummer's never going to make it. He's going to get... Oh, and he offloads from the ground. I did not give Harry Plummer credit. I was sure Plummer would stuff that one up. Wow. Soju is... Yeah, I've had soju. That stuff's pretty lethal. Wow. That's a hell of a try. Narawa gets the high ball. Gets it to knock. Gets it to Plummer. Offload from the deck. Gets it to Akira. What a try. That's a proper try. Best Blues performance for some time. And it's not been perfect, but it's still pretty good. Plummer had a crack. He did. He didn't get there. Absolute smashing. That's right, Alaran. 39. This is similar to last night's game, isn't it? With the Crusaders. Do you play any video games? I play every now and again, but not very much. I don't have much time. Kids, YouTube channel, day job. Not much time to play video games. I played a bit of Rugby 20 on PS4. Two blowout games, JP. This is why the AU competition has been more entertaining in terms of the drama. Like, most of the games are going down to the wire. Except the Waratahs, we've been getting hidings. What do you think of Barrett playing in Japan? He's making some money. He got a pretty sweet deal from the Blues, man, when he signed that contract. He gets a lot of time not playing for the Blues as part of his Blues deal. Try Corona beer, yeah. Chances against the Crusaders last week, JP. I would say if any team is going to beat the Crusaders, the Blues at home have the best chance. Now, that doesn't mean I think they go as favourites, but I think it's the best chance anyone's got thus far. What was that rugby game on PS2? That was Rugby 08, brother. Oh, Ed Lomu, that was PS1. John Lomu Rugby. Supporting the Canes in 2021 is a video game of sorts, except it's rigged against you. You don't randomly lose inventory. You don't have the option to rage quit. I'm quietly pleased that the Blues are actually a decent team because I've been supporting them for a long time when they've been pretty bad. They've been the laughingstock of New Zealand rugby for a few years, so... I haven't played Rugby Challenge since Rugby Challenge 1. And I wasn't that fussed with it. I thought it was pretty average. Rugby 20 is also pretty average, but in some areas it had more depth than Rugby Challenge. Rugby 08 is probably still the best rugby game out there. Or Lomu if you want like an arcadey style one. But I played Rugby 08 so much that even on the hardest difficulty, I could still smack the computer pretty easily with a bad team against a good team. You need to play against a human to make it really worth it. Since the food is done, let's have a look at what has made us all hungry. It's pretty much ready. I can see it on the table. And the smell is like wafting over. It's filling the whole room with the aroma. Rugby Challenge 4 is relatively average. I heard really bad things about it, man. So I haven't bothered to get it. Funny, Rugby 08 at the time had only relatively average to solid reviews. But we've had nothing better since it's looked upon as godly. You're right, Starleo. If you look at the Rugby 08 reviews from the time, and you compared it to like... It might have even been like Pro Evolution Soccer instead of FIFA. Because FIFA wasn't the top soccer game for a while. People were like, well, this Rugby 08 game, it's no PES. But it's alright. Yeah, it was alright. It had a few flaws, but you could make it better if you did a lot of the customization stuff, to be fair. First of all was winning 11, then PES, true. I would have been 9 when Rugby 08 came out, man. Rugby 08 is a pretty ugly game. The graphics are not great, but it's got more depth in gameplay than most of the other games. And the thing about rugby is, essentially, you need to make the game for like actual rugby. And then, oh, holy crap, here goes Garden Bishop. Blues have covered well. And they've got a penalty. But for a rugby game, you essentially need to make mini games for ruck, for scrum, for line out. Like all the set piece needs to be a rugby game, a mini game, plus the rucks, plus the goal kicking. Yeah, there's a lot of little, and they all need to be entertaining and like feel relevant. Knox going to the bin, by the way. He's been yellow carded for some cynical play. .10 and the Highlanders will have an extra man to attack and get some points. Maybe take the bonus point away from the Blues. You should do a once a month time thing where you live stream the NRL. I wouldn't know what the hell's going on, man. I may have not know what the hell was going on in rugby, to be fair. Garden Bishop is certainly faster than his brothers. His brother. Jack Perry is a Wales man. Your team's doing pretty well, man. What can we say? Federico is leaving to go to his bed. All right, man. Take care of yourself. See you for another one. Coconut, you're back and you've changed your avatar. Your whatever. Oh, my dinner's just there. It's ready now. This game's got 9 minutes to go. Fakatava, try time. Favorite movies, JP. My favorite movie of all time is probably Die Hard. It's maybe showing my age a bit. I mean, that movie's even before my time, but Die Hard's a classic. A likable character. He's not like a superhero. He doesn't have special powers. He's just a guy in a bad place at a bad time. Like, he does some stuff which is pretty unlikely, but compared to most 80s action movies, it's still relatively based in reality. He's a flawed character. He's a good villain. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber. Die Hard's a good movie. $39.17. Fakatava's try is converted. Blues will be gutted if they lose this bonus point. Show us that beef and broccoli. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Star Leo, I watch it every Christmas. This year just gone, 2020, I actually got to watch it at the cinema. Because there's no movies on because of COVID, so the cinema was just showing like old movies. I didn't do it on Christmas Day, but around like December time, I watched Die Hard. I took my missus, I put the kids with the grandparents, and I went to watch Die Hard. First time I'd seen it on the big screen. Amazing. JP, you and me are on the same page, watching Die Hard at Christmas. Mad Max and Fury Road are some of my favourite movies. Blake, it saddens me to say I've never seen Mad Max. I probably should go watch it. By all accounts, they're pretty good movies. I think I might have seen a bit of Thunderdome. I think that's it. Wales Grand Slam, Jack Parry. Maybe. Maybe. One game to go. Highlanders are just being penalised for advancing at a kick, so a bit of a let-off for the Blues there. They will take their time. Interestingly, when I went to watch Die Hard at the cinema, right, there was bugger all people there, and I dragged my missus along. She's not a huge fan of Die Hard, but she was willing to watch it with me. Some guy comes in, sits in the row right in front of us, but he sits like one seat to the side, so he's not in front of us. Like there's seats everywhere. You can sit everywhere. And I'm like, this guy's got popcorn. He's kind of a bigger bloke. He's got a drink. And I was thinking to myself, I should be going and watch Die Hard with a guy like this guy. He wants to watch some Die Hard. He appreciates some Die Hard. I like some Die Hard. Why am I dragging my poor missus to see Die Hard? And a minute later, the guy audibly burps, a huge burp in the middle of the cinema. And I'm like, that's not really acceptable behavior because we're in a public place. You need to keep that stuff quiet. And then he farts. He tilts to the side. He lets one go. He lets a ripper go. And I'm thinking, right, maybe I'll just stick to watching Die Hard with my missus because there's a reason this guy's watching the film by himself. He's treating it like his own lounge, man. It's kind of unbelievable. Ian, you missed the whole game. Oh, man, it's all right. The Blues are doing good. It's 39-17. The Blues have still got a bonus point, but only just. One more Highlanders try and we lose the bonus point. What a fantastic movie experience, I know. Amazing cinema experience. It's a wonder people don't go to the cinema anymore, right? Bloody hell. The first time I'd gone to the movies in ages. Yeah. Do the Polynesian Islands have their own tournaments like the Six Nations? They have the Pacific Nations Cup, which is traditionally Japan, America, Tonga, Samoa, Fiji. Occasionally, I think Georgia might have competed once. Yeah, Darren Wendy's got you there with the answer as well. Big fan of Lord of the Rings. Your son's a fan of Moana. I believe we have some Pacific genes. There you go, Federico. I've never seen Moana, actually. I should watch it. Blues have just won another penalty at the breakdown. This bonus point is looking relatively secure, maybe. Sorry, that sounds like that was me in front of you and the missus. Kenneth, you bastard. How dare you? Like, it was an experience. It was unforgettable in its own way. It was just weird. Like, you know, when your brain, like, goes one mode, like, I'm thinking, yeah, I should be watching a movie with a guy like this, and then it just goes 180. Yeah. Does Gazza let the burps and farts rip at home while watching the movies or the rugby? Anytime he's over for a live stream, he keeps things relatively quiet, but otherwise he's a lot more liberal with his actions. New Zealand, a 2-horse race at the moment. It is looking like it. Canada and USA also do Pacific Nations Cup sometimes. That's right. Highlanders are not going to go down without a fight. They've got the extra man. They're using that space. But Connor Garden-Bishop has just knocked it on. So we will have a scrum. You have drive-through cinema in parts of Jamaica. That's awesome. We do not have drive-through cinema here, as far as I'm aware. Lewis Reserve, the new George North. He's a bit more slim than George North, isn't he? Maybe he'll pack on a few more kilos as he gets older. But he's got wheels. He's definitely got wheels. Cracking up with that story. Hilarious that it happened in a cinema. I know, James, man, honestly, like, there was maybe 15 people in the cinema at most. But still. You can't act 100% like you own the joint. Especially when there's people one row behind you. Anyway. Blues, scrum penalty. Happy days. He was a gas man. That is indeed correct. Oh, JP, man, bro. I'll need to have one more glass of red. Shout Gazza a beverage for the next live stream he's on? I'll get him round at some point, man. I'll get him round. I need to get a couch for him to come around, but I will. Thanks to you, I'm inching my way closer. Thank you kindly, man. I will get Gaz around to watch some rugger, for sure. Thank you, brother. Is it still possible for France to win the Six Nations? I think so, but they need to beat Wales and win their other games. Get him round for the Blues versus Crusaders. Darren Mundy, I'm kind of sneakily hoping I'll get my media pass sorted for that game and I'll be able to go. Yeah. I almost had it sorted for this game, but the guy from New Zealand Rugby was on bereavement leave, so I couldn't get it sorted. The guy from the Blues was not keen. Like, the guy from New Zealand Rugby was like, hey, talk to the guy from the Blues, maybe he can get it sorted for you. The guy from the Blues did not seem keen. He was just kind of like, you're not real media. I think. If it's, maybe I'm over-exaggerating. But the guy from New Zealand Rugby seemed to be sorting me out, but then he went on bereavement leave, so I just decided to leave him alone, man. That's not cool to be bothering him when he's mourning. So, yeah. Time is up on the clock, but the Highlanders got a penalty, so they will kick for touch. Don't France need to get some bonus points to win? I would say so, man. I haven't actually looked at the full table, but yeah, I think they would need to go perfect run. Leon McDonald's shaking his head. Not happy, chappy. And the mainstream media is real media. I think, Kenneth, that's the way it was. In his email to me, he was just like, I would need some bona fide evidence. Is it bona fide or bona fide fide? Evidence that you are a real media organization. Oh, knock on from Black. That'll be game over. Whereas the New Zealand Rugby guy was cool as, so hopefully I'll go through him. But then I must admit, the Blues guy did say he would speak to me next week, so maybe I can get it done through him as well. Fingers crossed. Blues, man. Blues. Bonus point win. It's full time. 39-17. Very, very good win. We'll take it. We will definitely take it. Same score from the Crusaders win. Is it really? Bro, amazing. Well, the game against the Crusaders is going to be a hell of a cracking one next week. Fingers crossed it goes well for my Blues. I honestly think someone needs to go win over the Crusaders, otherwise the competition's going to just spiral into a pretty standard old pattern. But anyway, my dinner is sitting on the table. It's cooling down. It's ready to go. Cheers, JP. Yeah, it was a fun stream as always. I've had a wee bit of red wine. I'll take that. Beer run next time. Thank you guys for coming along. And yeah, I'll see you guys for another one at some point soon. Take care of yourselves, guys. See you for Scotland and Ireland if I can get out of bed. Take care. See you.